is January 27th, 2012, and I was here with you a few days ago.
Yes.
And so this is kind of part 2, and you're going to explain to me basically what your findings were and what you suggest for my plan.
Correct.
I did go over with your partner there. What's her name?
Debbie.
Debbie, I'm sorry, Debbie. And she kind of gave me an idea of what we're going to be doing here. So I kind of want to go over very quickly what we did the other day when we first initially met. And you guys did some testing on me with my arms and different things that I might be having issues with. A lot of that will be available for people to see, but I just, I want people to understand that this isn't something where I come in once and say I have a cold and you give me an aspirin and say come back in 4 to 6 weeks kind of thing. This is a process that takes time, and the things that you're going to suggest that I take are going to be things that help my body heal itself.
Correct.
Okay, and that doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it's a commitment to better healing, which is something I've already been trying to explain to people. You don't just come to this place and come once. And that it's a dedication to better health and an investment in yourself. And just like anything, exercising, eating properly, this is an environment that helps you heal, but it takes time.
That is correct.
Yes. Okay. So explain to me what we're doing today.
Okay. So today I'm just going to briefly go over some key points from your first visit, basically my findings and my recommendations, and explain an outline of the program. And then I will go through and I will do the nutrition response testing, the muscle testing on you again.
Okay.
Go through all the reflex points. Go back to the ones that were active. So I know there was an area on the skin, and there were also the adrenal glands. So I will go back over those 2 areas specifically, so you can see that they are still weak. And then we'll take the nutrition and test it against it. Today you will bring in all your other vitamins, etc. And hold on to those while I check the dosage of the supplements that you will be taking from here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the oil pills and I don't remember what I brought in. I think there were 2 or 3 things. I didn't bring them in again today.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that okay?
That
Okay.
is okay.
I know you tested them on me.
Yes, and
they were
everything
okay.
was all right together. So what I would basically be doing today, if you don't have those with you, is I would still check the dosage, and on follow-up visits, I would have you bring your stuff in that you're taking also periodically, just so I can check it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So as Debbie explained, that there's a few key things here that we're looking for. One, that I was able to, when I tested you, find out that you are definitely a nutritional case. So how we found out is that...
As long as you don't say I'm a case.
Right, exactly. No, not a case, a nutritional case. So nutrition response reflex points that actually showed up, adrenals and skin, and we were able to kind of narrow it down to a classification of like fungus, yeast, mold type stressors in the body.
Okay.
Energetic pulse on this chart simply indicates, where it says pulse of 0, simply indicates that when I went to that active reflex and I applied pressure over it, your arm went weak.
Okay.
So all that simply tells me is that there were definitely stressors to those reflex areas, and the nutritional supplements that are needed, the Spanish black radish and the Zymex capsules, are the ones that brought those reflexes up to a normal energetic pulse of 10.
Okay.
So that's the number that I'm looking for on follow-up visits.
Well, of course, we all want to be 10s.
Exactly. That's perfect. So history of results in cases that are similar to yours is excellent, providing only that the client does 2 things. And I always stress this.
Is everybody listening?
Exactly. That you follow through on our recommendations as closely as possible.
Which means taking the supplements.
That's right. And then you stay with the program long enough to achieve maximum correction of the underlying causes of the problems. Okay. And the reason for that is because a lot of times I'll have clients come in and in a couple of weeks they'll start feeling better. And they'll be like, well, I don't need this anymore. So they stop. Or they forget. And then what happens is the symptoms will come back. So what you have to do is you have to allow enough time for the body to replenish and start taking over on its own. So therefore you can wean down off of those supplements and then only take what is needed.
Okay.
So the goal right now is to actually get you through that initial phase, the fine-tuning phase, which is going through all the reflexes on a weekly basis, checking the body, making sure there's nothing new, no active reflexes, no other organs or systems that need assistance, and checking the dosages of your supplements. If, let's say you came in and you were 2 weeks into the program and the skin reflex is now a 4, which means that it's up from a 0. I put the nutrition on your body and it only brings it to a 4. that means that it no longer brings it to a 10, and I would have to then look to see what else is needed to move you to the next level.
Gotcha.
So in the fine-tuning phase, I'm always looking to see what else is needed and what the body needs to keep it healing and repairing. And the goal is to get it to where you are in step 2, which is the healing and observation phase, where I simply just monitor the reflexes and what's going on with you, as well as diet, foods that you're eating. Make sure you're not doing anything that's going to stop the body from repairing, and let the body go through a 12-week healing cycle.
Okay.
So when you're looking at the initial program, you're looking at about 18 weeks of coming in to where I'm actually assessing the body to see what your nutritional needs are and get you to a point where I can then look to see what percentage of recovery your body is repairing at. And that'll help me determine how many more weeks is actually needed for you to reach that more optimum level of health.
Okay.
So, at the end of the 12 weeks, if you were only 25 in the first 12, then I know you need an additional 36. And that's how I would basically work it. And the goal is to get you to a maintenance phase to where you're just basically taking, certain nutrients that you might not be getting from your foods.
Which we often don't if we don't eat organic or whole foods.
That's correct. That's correct. Because, and plus, even some of the stuff that is organic and natural, we can't guarantee that the soil has everything that it needs to where those vegetables have those nutrients.
Right. And people will do things to their bodies that are harmful or hurtful to their bodies and they don't even realize it. They eat vegetables that are not organic that have all kinds of chemicals on them. And then that goes right into your mouth and into your body. So even though they're feeding their kids carrots and broccoli, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're healthy.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. All right, so fee schedules, follow-up visits are $35. And they're generally 10 minutes or less.
That's nice.
Yes.
So you come in for a quick checkup and out you go.
Absolutely. And, sometimes there is a little bit of an extended time that is needed, extra questions, things like that. If I have the time, I am definitely here for it. And you can always reach me by phone or email with questions as well.
Excellent.
On the 6th and the 12th visit, that heart rate variability or health express test, as we like to call it, is done again for
Where they
comparison.
put the belt around me?
That is correct. And that is an additional $30. So really you're looking at, in your case, you're looking at a total of 12 visits for the initial part.
Yep.
And you either can pay as you go, or as Debbie explained, there was a prepayment plan, which we like to offer to people. So that way there's discounts as well.
Sure. Excellent.
All right. So do you have any questions on this at all?
No, I'm pretty good.
Perfect. So right now, what I'm going to do is just get your chart out so I can make notes on the reflexes that I'm going to be testing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go through and test you again.
Which are these two things that you're recommending?
Correct. This is the Zymex and Spanish black radish.
Okay. And you've already kind of predetermined through this time frame of the 2 appointments how much you think may be useful for my body.
As far as the dosage?
Right.
That's what I'm going to find out right now.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So I don't predetermine anything.
Okay.
One of the things that I've learned with this is that you can't predetermine.
Okay.
What tests is what tests. And you could say with modern medicine, you can go and look up a group of symptoms and there's a label for it. So you know that okay, this is your medical condition. These are the medications that are going to help it. So it's already really predetermined for you. With this, it's completely different. I might have, let's say I do a presentation, and I have 10 people at that presentation, and they all have fatigue, or they all have, weight issues, so these are all common things that people deal with. Now, they will not show as having the same active reflexes, and they will most likely not have the same supplements or dosages, because everybody's body is different, and everyone is an individual.
Sure.
So when you come in here, and I go through and test, I might think to myself, okay, well, skin issues could be bacteria. Well, as we know, it wasn't. I could think to myself, okay, well, you're struggling, you're trying to lose weight, or your energy is low. It's got to be thyroid.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay. So you never, ever go into a case where you're thinking ahead, because it will prove you wrong every time.
Sweet.